Hi. There's a topic going around the pagan community right now that's kind of exciting to me. It's actually the paranormal experiences, personal ghost stories. I've seen two videos. Allison did one on Avalon Moon about the Ouija board, and Mandy just did a two-part one about her ghost experiences, even though she is scared to death of them. I have had several experiences with everything paranormal since I was probably about 12 years old. My mom died when I was 8, so I've always been searching. So I always had an open mind when it came to the possibilities of other dimensions, or more like a hope for it. The first experience I ever really had with communicating with the dead was probably when I was about 13. I was at a friend's house, and at that time, my stepmother at the time, she claimed to be a witch, but like over the years, I realized she wasn't. She just liked to pretend to be people she wasn't. But what she did teach us was how to conduct a seance. And it's funny because most young teenagers or preteens, they start off with, playing with Ouija boards. We jumped right into a seance. We actually found the Ouija boards years later. But I wanted to talk about the first experience we ever had, and that was quite mind-blowing for us. We're at a friend's house. My stepmother was friends with her mother, so they were upstairs having coffee, and we were in the basement. There was two girlfriends. I was 13, the one was 11, the other was 13 as well. And they had two brothers. One was 12, and the other one was really little, like maybe 5 or 6. And what we did was we were going to have our own seance. Like Julie showed us how to do it, so we decided to tell her to go back upstairs, and we were going to play around for a while. And this was on like a Sunday afternoon. This wasn't like nighttime. It wasn't midnight. It was just like the afternoon. What we did was Jeff and Barry, they stayed in a room together in bunk beds. So what we did was we kind of figured it'd be better if it was dark, right? So we gathered in a circle around a candle on the bottom bunk and hung blankets up around, like off the top bunk, so that they'd drape down and cover us in darkness. And we held them up with big encyclopedia books. This was 1982, so I didn't have computers. So we had the encyclopedias, the huge books if you ever see them. So for about an hour, we let Jeff conduct it, like he was the one talking, and we were all holding hands and staring into the candle and trying to concentrate, but of course we were young and silly and laughing, and it was so hard. I think one of the first things Jeff said was, oh, that's what it was. We were calling back. What had happened was the people that owned the house before, in 1936, there was a young boy, about 2 years old, that had died of pneumonia in the house. And what we did was we knew his name because they were friends with the people still. His entire name, Curtis Benton Widows. And that's who we decided we were going to call. Of course, we'd never had any experience. We didn't know what to expect. So we just sat there and played with it for a while. And after about an hour, we were starting to get restless. And Jeff was being a smart ass, really. And he was saying, Curtis Benton Widows, if you're with us, give us a sign. I can't remember if it was me or my friend Maureen, but one of us said, throw an encyclopedia at Jeff, because he's being a smart ass. And we're all laughing and giggling. Then all of a sudden, all of the blankets dropped. And this was the weirdest part. One of the books hit Jeff in the head. So you know, it kind of freaked us out, but we were still skeptical. We didn't know, you know, like it could have been anything. You know, he could have pulled the blanket down, whatever. So we got back in there, got it all set up, and we're sitting there, and then he does it again. He says, Curtis Benton Widows, if you're here, please give us a sign. And we're all really quiet and waiting and waiting. And then, Curtis, are you here? And then all of a sudden the blankets fell down again. But this time, Maureen and I had our backs to the wall so we could see out towards the doorway. No, that's the phone. And in the doorway was this bluish kind of hazy mist. And the room was fully lit because it was the afternoon. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So we kind of, you know, it freaked us out a little, but again, we chalked it up to whatever, hey. So we got it all set up again and got back in there. Now it's like 2.5, 3 hours into this, and it was starting to get dusk outside because I think it was winter time. And up in northern Alberta, winter time starts around 4:30. The dusk starts around 4:30 in the winter. So anyway, we're sitting there, and about another half hour goes by. And we're getting restless, and we start joking around. And Jeff had an idea. He had a clock radio. Again, 1982, we didn't have iPods or really ghetto blasters. We had like cassette tapes and plug-in clock radios that you can only get an AM station on. Anyway, that's what he had on his dresser. So he come up with this idea. Curtis Benton Widows, if you're with us, can you please turn the radio on? And we thought, there's no way, you know, this is just crazy. And we're, you know, about 10, 15 minutes, we're all laughing, and Jeff starts acting like a real smart ass and starts singing it. Turn the radio on, turn the radio. It was just so stupid, and we're laughing. And then all of a sudden, the frickin' the thing comes blaring on. And we freaked right out. Oh my God, we were so scared. Maureen and I were running on top of each other to get up the stairs. It was that freaky. So, okay, we went upstairs and we told Mum and my stepmom and their mom what had happened, and they're laughing at us. Oh, you guys are funny and whatever. It's probably just set for that time because it's an alarm clock. Oh, okay, well, you know, so give us about an hour. We calmed down. Now it's dark outside. And we ended up going back down. And this time, Jeff thought he was going to be a real smart guy, and he unplugged it. He unplugged the radio. And we sat in there and set it all up. This time it was dark, so we didn't need the blankets around. So this time we just turned the light off. And he started in. And this time we're thinking, this shit's real. So we're not pissing around anymore. You know, like we're gonna try and take this seriously and see what else we can get this little boy to do. And so we sat quietly and Jeff starts, he asks at first, he said, Curtis Benton Widows, are you with us? If you're with us, please give us a sign. And probably, I don't know, 5-10 minutes of saying this over and over again, all of a sudden we can hear a young child crying from outside in the other part of the basement, because in his bedroom we had the door closed, so we can hear like a child on the other side kind of whimpering and crying. And at first, you know, like we didn't really think too much of it, and then I had mentioned, well, maybe it's Barry, because he was, 5? And that's when Barry's sitting beside his sister, and he goes, no, I'm right here. And we kind of just went, oh, he's here. You know? So then we took it really seriously, and then that's when Jeff was kind of scared. He didn't want to ask about the radio because that was freaky as hell when it did happen. So we finally convinced him, like, you have to just see if it's real. And so he did, you know, very seriously this time. He wasn't acting like a smart ass. Curtis Benton Widows. If you're with us, could you please turn the radio on again for us? And then we're really quiet, and over and over again he asked over a few, like another probably about half an hour. Like, it was starting to take quite a while, and we're starting to lose faith that this was real. And so, he kept asking, but, we were getting restless and started chatting back and forth and laughing and giggling. And then all of a sudden, Cindy, like Maureen's sister, she tells us all, quiet, quiet. We're going, what? Shh, do you hear that? And we all got really quiet. And we could hear music in the background. We couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. We thought, okay. So Jeff got up, turned the light on. The clock radio was playing, but very, very softly, like where you can barely hear it. And that fucking thing was unplugged. Like, I swear to God and Goddess, it was an amazing night. And needless to say, we were scared as hell. We didn't touch this again for quite a while. Like, it freaked the hell out of us. Like, it was pretty scary, especially for a first experience. So anyway, that was the story of my very first actual contacting a spirit. I don't know if you can see Ivy in the background. This has actually sparked my interest to do a whole series of videos about all of the experiences that I've had over the last 30 years, because there are quite a few. Okay, so bye for now.